Where the Wild Things Are was a complete blind buy for $3 with this beautiful slipcover that I found at a used video store, which I quite frequent, and first time watch for me. Always heard about this film, never really interested in it when it came out or throughout the years. Films are very much like that for me. Sometimes I'll just remember a film that's been out for like 10 or 15 years or whatnot, and then I'll be like, man, I feel like watching that, and then I'll go look for it and see if I can find it cheap somewhere. But yeah, like films that I've known about for a long time maybe, or never have been interested in, or like had zero interest in sometimes. Like this one, like it never really caught my eye from the trailers. Always seemed a bit too kiddish. Couldn't really, like the vibe just didn't get to me. The monsters looked weird. Just never appealed to me pretty much. Simply, but recently I found it and I'm like, well, $3, why not? And I heard really good things about it, especially recently, like in the last 3 to 6 months on YouTube. So I'm like, perfect, I'll check this out. Add it to my collection and review it. It was great. It was really, really well done. It was directed by Spike Jonze too. Oh, grab my notes here. It was directed by Spike Jonze, or Spike Jones, however you pronounce it, which I had no idea. So when I picked it up and saw his name on the back of it, I'm like, oh shit. He's a phenomenal director. Director of Her, director of Inside Louis, no, not Inside Louis Davis, it's the Being John Malkovich, that's it. John Malkovich, Llewyn Davis, got confused there. But he has a big track record and a very good director. So knowing kind of the themes of this film with Spike Jonze behind the camera, yeah, I had a good feeling about it, and it definitely delivered. It's a darker family film, like it's family appropriate for sure, but the themes in it are very deep, and it's a very powerful film with a very important narrative, you could say. A very relatable narrative is a better word for it. Basically, you have this kid who has one hell of a hyperactive imagination, like border ADHD. I don't even know if he might have ADHD according to a scene at the beginning of the film that I got, but before that you could just tell that this kid was very energetic. He was kind of lonely, kind of desperate for friends. He has a sister who completely neglects him because she's in that preteen, tween age or whatever, and she's hanging out with the boys and going out doing cool things and has no time for her little brother. His mom is played by Kathleen Teener. Kathleen Teener, I think that's how you pronounce it. Did I write it down? Probably not. And then he has a stepdad who I swear that he's played by Mark Ruffalo, but he literally is in one scene for 3 seconds. It's insane. They have him in the credits and everything, but Mark Ruffalo is in this film for 3 seconds, literally. I really wonder how much his paycheck was because he's in this so little, and how long he was on set for, because it would be kind of hilarious but terrible at the same time if they had him on set for like 3 days just to do that one scene. But regardless, this kid, he gets into an argument with his mom, and he kind of runs off into, like, down the street into this park or something like that, and then he kind of, the rest of the film is his imagination in this world that he creates in his mind with all these over the top and bigger than life like monsters kind of thing, but monsters that have big personalities, like not like evil monsters or anything, but like monsters that he can relate with and talk to and understand him, and kind of those things. Each monster has a different quirk to them, and this film actually deals with a lot of like anger and dealing with anger and issues that people have, like baggage and loss and emotions, like hard emotions to deal with. And I think that's a really great thing that this film focuses on, and sometimes goes to really dark places with, is expressing emotions and talking about emotions that a lot of people have, that a lot of people bury, kind of thing, and this one kind of puts them into a light using this larger than life world where these creatures exist. And the kid is cool. He's the actor who plays him. I don't know his name because I've never really seen him in anything else, but he does the job well for what he's given, like script wise and screenplay wise. And he's always dressing up in these like animal costumes, these like onesies that have like ears on them and shit. And when he gets to this world, these monsters think that he's king, and he's really good at making stories on the spot, and I like that. He's very quick. He's very witty, and when he's asked a question or put on the spot with anything, he's really good at like making up stories on the spot because his imagination is just on rapid fire continuously. So it's a cool idea for a script, and Spike Jonze, or Spike, I say Jonze because that's how I see it when it's spelled, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Jones, so I'm probably making a fool of myself. Yeah, there's a scene I like at the beginning too where his teacher, and I wrote down, he really knows how to be subtle on this one. He's explaining how the solar system and the universe is eventually going to come to an end, and he's talking about the sun like swallowing the universe and the earth and all the planets and all that, but he's so direct about it, and he's not like he's talking to a bunch of like 4th or 5th graders, and he's being so direct in what he's saying. It's hilarious. That scene made me laugh, and it plays in later on too when there's actually a quote from one of the monsters. The kid's like, did you know that one day the sun's gonna swallow the earth, to one of the monsters? And the monster's like, what do you mean? You're king and I'm big. Why should we be afraid of something as tiny as that little tiny sun in the sky? That quote just, it could mean so much, and it could be interpreted in so many ways. This film is also absolutely packed with indie music. Like full on indie artists, like indie pop, indie rock, like hipster kind of stuff. If that's your thing, this film is loaded with that kind of stuff. And themes too, like it goes with the themes of course. But yeah, the whole soundtrack, it's something you totally hear in an indie film for sure. But I also really like how the monsters learn their own lessons too, and even though they're imaginary, it resembles the child learning his lessons in life, and he kind of uses these monsters as figures to kind of answer questions for his own emotions and his own conscience kind of thing, or subconscious, you could say, subconscious, yes, subconscious, and just discover himself. Basically, it's a film about self-discovery in a strange way, in kind of like a child's imagination kind of way. But it's not a childish film by any means. Like this is a film for literally all ages, and very powerful one at that. And it goes dark. Like it goes dark. It goes. Sometimes it makes you uncomfortable. There's scenes that actually make you like tense, like really tense, because you're wondering where it's gonna go, and is violence gonna pursue and stuff like that. But it's touching and it's heartwarming, and it's definitely appropriate for, I'd say, everybody. So yeah, it's a very high recommendation for me. I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I finally discovered it after so long, because I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I couldn't find it anyway without renting it. But I'm not a movie renter. I'm a movie collector, so I prefer to find something for like $3 or $4, and when I find something for $3 or $4 that looks as nice as this, I'm like, yes, score. So Where the Wild Things Are is one I fully recommend. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, and if you like my film reviews, plenty more to come as always, and plenty on the channel as of now. So check them all out, subscribe, and I will chat later. Take care and cheers.